Hello, my crafty friend. My name is Meredith, and I am a Creative Memories Advisor in Canada. I am coming to you today to show you a little tip that I came up with when creating this layout for my NSD class. So every time I hold a class for National Scrapbooking Day, excuse me, I like to come up with something that teaches a technique, but also brings it all together so that we're actually scrapbooking our weekend together. So when I saw Krislyn Mattei's technique for the wavy border, I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. And then after I had it all advertised and everything, she put it on YouTube and it was free for everyone. But I thought, you know what, I'm still going to go forward with it. This way we can all get together and chat about the different techniques and how to do it. And, you know, they get to see it one-on-one. So I went forward with the border. I decreased her left side page by 1 and I added a right side page. We only have 2 over here, so this one actually has 5 layers, whereas here we have 4, and then I put 2 over here. So when I was creating the layout, I was kind of playing with the wavy trimmer and trying to keep all my instructions in my mind. And I'm like, okay, so we have to keep it 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, and then we got to move it over about 1/8 of an inch or so, which isn't too hard for me. However, I do know some of my scrapbookers, and it's not the easiest technique to do. And if you've tried this layout, then you know that there is it's not the easiest cuts to get those fine thin white pieces. So I was kind of thinking about it, and one of the things that I have done with my wavy trimmer, and I've actually used this one, I've used it to create hills or like a foreground with snow. So I actually took some painter's tape or some low tack tape, and I could put it in my trimmer and I cut it so that I had like a template to use on, I was making a card. So I thought, why can't I do that same thing with my wavy part and come up with some way of making it a little bit easier to cut. So let me move these aside and just show you what I mean. So what I've done here is I've just ripped a piece of low tack tape, painter's tape. It's actually craft tape that I've received over the years for some sort of something that I've been involved in. And as you can see here, I've placed it over top of the cutting line. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut. And I like to go both ways because sometimes it doesn't, if you go too fast, it doesn't really work. So now all that I've done is I've cut my tape. Now this end is not cut because it was a little longer than it should be. So let me just slowly peel this off and show you that I now have a wavy piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this tape back down about 1/8 of an inch from the cutting area. So now I'm just going to give it a second to focus. As you can see, this piece is still right along the cutting edge, but this is about 1/8 of an inch away from the cutting edge. Now I'm going to repeat that with the other side, simply because there's kind of 2 techniques that you have to do when you're doing this layout. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this about 1/8 of an inch away from the cutting line. So as you can see now, it's about 1/4 of an inch. Some places it might be a bit more, and if you want to get fussy with it and get it closer, you can. I'm just doing this a little bit fast so that you can see, and I'm sorry for all the shadows and that sort of thing, but with this trimmer it's hard. This is as high as that will go, right? So now what I'm going to do is I did cut this ahead of time just so that I have the wavy edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my paper is 1/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom, so I'm putting it along that line like she suggests in her video. And now, as you can see, I have just lined that up with that tape. and know how far it is because I placed the tape there. And now I can quickly cut a whole bunch of the 1/8 inch strips. And I pretty much know that my strips are going to be the same size no matter what I do. Whoops, caught there. Because I'm lining them up to the exact same spot every time. That tape that's in there. So you can see that. I'll do one more. You see that I've kind of hooked my finger in here to lift that. And this is how I did my page. Just kept my hand on the side, hook my finger in there, and as you can see, I'm getting pretty even sized strips every time. So now what I also want to explain is that this also works for what you could call the baubles. So now if I take this piece and I place it in here, again, 1/4 inch away from this top and bottom, right? Otherwise the wave won't be quite even. But now you can see, let's see if we can see this. As I place this, we've got these valleys that will meet the hills that were cut. So if we just take this and we just cover up those in the valley, we just cover it up. See that? Just covering it up, just so you can't see it anymore. Again, make sure you're in the 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom. This is a little difficult because I got to hold all this up a little bit so you can see it because of this piece. So now I'm just going to kind of move my fingers away from where they would hit here, and I'm going to give it a cut. And look at that. Now this one maybe got a little bit wide, but that's okay. That's because that was the one I was showing you, but there we go. So now I'll take this and come from the other side. And these are just as per the instructions that she gave us on her original video. And I'm hoping that you can see this with this knot in the way. Let's see. So once again, lining up the 1/4 inch on the sides here. And I wanted you to just see how you can see in these valleys, you can see the white. So now I'm just going to move it until the white disappears. See that? The white just disappeared. The white is there. It just disappeared. This one is a little better than the first one because I took the time. As you can see, this one's a little wide. That's because I was trying to show you. But here I took the time to make sure they were all even, and look how even that went. So let's do one more just to reinforce it. So you take it out, you flip it over. Make sure it's even on the top and bottom with that 1/4 inch. Again, trying to do this so that you can see with this. Right, so now you can see that valley slowly disappear. So I'm pretty sure that that is pretty even. Lay that down. Now this is a lot easier to do if you're not trying to show somebody. So I'm trying to show you in my thing. So look how nice and even that is. And all we're doing is lining up here. And then on the original one, we're just lining up to the edge of the tape. And we're getting nice and even. And it's fast too. I found that my customers that were doing the class were able to do this nice and quick because it was already done. And because we had to share trimmers because I only had one to use. So we had to do it some way that would make it nice and even and quick. So I'll give you another visual of that. It's about 1/8 of an inch from the cutting area on both sides. And then just bring back in my layout and just kind of talk. I did take the NSD embellishments and I searched for, excuse me, sorry my throat is not the best this morning. I searched for some scrapbook or connecting quotes on Pinterest as well as some lemon quotes on Pinterest, and I came up with squeeze every creative moment. where we connect. And so let's get crafty together. Friends don't let friends scrapbook alone. That is actually from the Scrap Happy 2 design line, and I use the digital set to bring this into my Cricut. And then so it says, let's get crafty together. Friends don't let friends scrapbook alone, where we connect and feel connected. And so I really feel strongly about these all together. This and our group photo will go in there. It's your heart that takes you places. I put that on top of the heart that's in the NSD. So of course this crop to your drop, Cropping Queens, Selfie, and Crazy Craft Lady, those are all, and as well as the Friends Don't Let Friends Scrapbook Alone, those are all in the Scrap Happy 2 design line. So I just thought I would share this morning and show you my little tip, because I have not seen that tip anywhere else, and it's just something that I came up with to make the class go a little smoother and faster. And they were very happy with the idea of that and using it, and so I thought I would share that with all of you. So happy scrapping, and I hope that you can take this tip to any of the classes that you may teach and share this with your friends and make pretty pages. Thanks for watching. Bye.